There is a world beyond the borderlands. A world forged by wonder and ruled by fate. The battle between these powers has raged since the beginning. Evil and good. Villains and heroes. A vicious cycle, endlessly repeated. Wonder is the power of a cruel, unpredictable god. But fate, there's one alone who can wield fate. One alone whose story is in their own hands. The Fate Maker. That's you. Heavy, right? Fate Maker. Big responsibility. Honestly, I wouldn't even blame you if you just laid down in a puddle and gave up. But if not, if you try and prove yourself as Fate Maker, then heed the warning I give all heroes. Together you fight. Together you shall fall.
Oh yeah! See! It's going real good over here. We're coming for you, Dragon Lord.
Your body of heroes can't stop me. Already Wow, you guys got here fast.
Like you said, we're the heroes. I am Valentine, gallant adventurer. The scary, stabby one is Fred.
What about that one?
That's the newbie. It's their first adventure.
Oh, come on. Their figure isn't even fully painted.
Enough talk. We're here to stop you from taking the soul energy.
Fools! I've already absorbed all of the soul energy. I'm invincible!
Oh, man. Sorry, newbie. You missed the soul energy.
Castles will burn. Babies will cry. More than usual. My skeleton arms will wash over the land.
Looking bad. How do we win this?
We attack! Together!
Pathetic. Especially you, newbie. They don't make heroes like they used to. Time to die!
But then, just as the heroes lose hope, they hear
A nay?
yeah, and also like, you know, the sparkly rainbow, which goes like quickle quack quack quack.
Huh?
It is Queen Buttstep, the most beautiful and perfectest ruler in all the land.
Hold on. What game are we playing here?
We're playing Bunkers and Badasses, baby! And I, Tiny Tina, am the Bunker Master. So what I say goes! And I say there's a magical diamond vinicorn named Butt Stallion who saves the day!
Oh. I was kind of hoping we would save the day.
You will, Valley Girl. I just gotta set the stakes. Now, let's table talk. Cue Dragon Lord!
Butt Stallion, you may be the most beautifulest, perfectest ruler in all the land, but this time, I've won.
Butt Stallion was wielding the coolest sword in the whole world. The Sword of Swords.
Oh, would you? I just made those skeletons. No! No! I curse you, Valentine! I curse you, Fred! And most of all, I curse you, newbie!
Huh?
Whatever your name is, I will return and finally rid this world of heroes!
And with that, the Dragon Lord was defeated. For now. Exposition complete! Who's ready to rickety roleplay?
Yeah, might as well. We're stranded here after that mountain totally jumped out at our ship.
Yeah, he crashed it. I'm in. I love bunkers and badasses. I've already got a level 40 character.
No. We are making all new characters. This is the newbie's first game, and I'm gonna make sure it's an adventure they'll never forget.
You ready, newbie?
Time for character sheets, baby!
Hey, this is Ronald from MADEskills University, and this is a pro tip on how I remastered the gaming video trailer of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands in Davinci Resolve 20 Studio. And this can be done in any video editor, as long as you can isolate the voice. And this is also a cool way to add enhancements to your video games. What I did was record the video, then I went into Davinci Resolve 20, I went to the audio, and I went to AI Music Remixer, and I muted everything but the voiceover. Once I isolated that voice, I just had this.
There is a world beyond the borderlands.
Then I went and found the appropriate music to match what was going on in the video. And I ended up finding 4 songs that worked out very well. And I linked those in the transcription. And then we'll have this.
There is a world beyond the borderlands.
So I thought that music went very well, even with transitions. And then I added more music like this.
But then, just as the heroes lose hope.
Once I had the video, the voiceover, and the music down, then it was time to bring in different types of effects. And what I normally do is I'll make cuts in the video like this where I may have an effect. Here is where we had a camera shake. And I added some RGB to that. And again down here when they fell down to the ground. But the key thing here is to find certain sound effects that really matched what was going on in the video. And I used to be a die-hard gamer when I worked for Creative Labs back in the 80s and 90s, and environmental sound was a big deal. So I did go into Fairlight and I brought in a lot of different effects to this game. I brought in echo effects and things like that, especially during the gameplay. Let me bring in the sound effects. Then we can see what's going on.
I give all heroes. Together you fight. Together you shall fall.
And my goal here was to make it real, bring in some good sword sound effects. When the guy kicked that guy, I wanted to hear this thumping sound. I wanted this to be more realistic and enhance everything I possibly could. And as you can see, there's a lot of sound effects. Also at the bottom here, there are skeleton bone sound effects. And then when there was a hit with the skeleton, I wanted to hear the slash or whatever coupled with the bones falling apart and hitting the ground on the skeleton. So I was trying to get a little bit detailed. The only thing you can't do here in the free version is isolate that voice over, but a lot of video editors have this option nowadays, and there's software out there which will allow you to do that. And let's go back over here, bring everything into view. But as we go down and here, it was a big deal to hear those skeletal bones as they rose.
Skeleton arms wash over the
And here when they try to jump at him, he pushes it back. Most of my sound effects came from Epidemic Sounds or from free sources on YouTube. That's where that sound effect is. It could be moved over just a little bit. One of the things I wanted to do was as the beginning went along, and when he pointed this guy out, I wanted dead silence except the voiceover.
That's you. Heavy, right? Fate maker.
There's another area, like here.
It's their first adventure.
Oh, come on. Their figure isn't even fully painted.
As we go along here, we made some changes. And at some part, I thought this whole scene here was just too long. What you can do is go to Toolbox, since you know what you're looking for. Go to search and just type in comic. And there's your comic book right here. You can do a title as well, but that's all I did was brought this in and put it down right here on this clip, because that was a 12-second clip by itself. And to me, that was just way too long. Normally, you're looking at 3 seconds, 5 seconds, change, moving closer, change the camera angle. Here, what I did was when he kicked this guy, I added a directional blur to blur him off the screen and a camera shake. And I made some slight adjustments here. So that was one. And I wanted that to be more emphatic because that was the opening scene. And right Here, I made sure that any sword attacks actually had an effect that you could hear, like that. And again, we have more bones and more swishes and whooshes as he turns around, add effects. Then here, I had to bring in the sword stab effect going in. And then I just took that clip and stacked it up and then reversed that clip going backwards. So I would just right click on the clip, go up to change clip speed, and then just hit reverse speed.
Going real good over here. We're coming for you, Dragon Lord.
This is a new effect I added to the new trailer because I wanted to have this kind of swoosh up to him. Sounds more like this. And that was the second camera shake, except I added some RGB to that, and I shook it a little bit off the screen. And I wanted more of an effect there. And this was another area where I wanted total silence.
Wow.
Because he was surprised he got up there so fast.
Got here fast.
Like you said, we're the heroes. I am Valentine, gallant adventurer.
Right there, what I did was slowly brought the music in after he made his hero speech. And then right here, I just did a dynamic zoom in on him and then zoom back out. And that was through this right here and going down with a dynamic zoom. Because something had to happen there. And that was a smooth transition there.
It's the first.
All of the soul energy. I'm invincible. Ow, man.
And what I could have done there was brought in an effect like, say, a light ray or something like that. So if I go over here to effects, and I can easily grab a light ray and drop it on top of this,
I'm invincible.
right? And then you turn it down. So I'll come over here and I'll turn this down a little bit. And I can make some changes here. Direction, it should flow down a little more like that. Nothing hard. Let's make it a little bit brighter right there. And again, there are tons of things I can do with this. Right here, what I did was made sure I amplified the cracking of a bone, of a sound. Then I brought in some special effects like a camera shake, but I wanted everything to move down when he put the skull on.
Wash over the land.
In here, more lightning. I brought those in because he hit 1 and then 2, and I stacked them up. And that's new. And then we have some more insertions over here. What I did here was, in the original clip, I didn't have this, but I tried to insert something here to make everything pop a little more. So I had a camera shake in there, as well as a light ray, and made those adjustments to it. So you got that effect. Then here, of course, we had another camera shake with RBG.
Time to die.
Here, I zoomed in on his hand.
But then,
Then when things happen like this, I added effects to this, like a camera shake and then a light ray right here. So when they got zapped, I wanted that to pop out a little bit more. I added footsteps. I had to find 3 different types of footsteps. Added lightning here. And here, of course, there was a loud thunder there. So what I did at the end is I added some more sound effects here at the beginning as he's talking. And I wanted those sound effects to match what's going on in the video. Over here, I added a transition off of this comic view, but then we went into a smooth cut. And as I went along, again, more sound effects when this guy had his head cut off. And I'm trying to align that with the switch sound. And right in here, I had to change the audio. Of course, we have a camera shake there. Here, I wanted to change the voice. So the closer we got to the character, the louder it should be. So that's a certain loudness. And now as she gets closer, I had to raise the volume up because I wanted it to appear as though she's getting closer to the camera. Here we had to have footsteps of all 3. And here we inserted a light ray. So as soon as he zapped them, we had a light ray pop in right here. And a camera shake. And here's your light ray settings. Boom. And then we had, of course, a camera shake here with our RGB on it. Here, what we did was zoom in on his hand a little bit and then bring in some electricity building type of sound effect there. And then we had an effect of a rainbow. There are different types of transitions in video editing. And there's 9 essential ones that are used in Hollywood, and then there are 11 different camera angles. I have videos in Davinci Resolve and Premiere on both and how to do those, and I'll link those in my playlist. But here we had the audio lead us to the next video, which is a rainbow. Wanted to add some more funny stuff there. And as we went down again, I made a few additions, like when she points and goes in, says get him. Now we zoom into him and then zoom back out of him and pop up with lightning. And here I wanted to really add a sound effect to that sword when it popped up, so I added that. And then here, of course, we had a sound effect and had a chain effect going around his hand. Sound effect there. Then toward the end, we added sound effects to Tina pounding the desk. And right here, we added open FX or flicker addiction. Right there, and a camera shake. I also changed to a voice and Fairlight. In this video, I added pan zooms, I did some echo effects. Then we had the dice effect, and that's how we ended the trailer. And again, there's a lot more I could have added, but I just want to give you an idea of the things that I did add. Please check out my 12 different playlists. If you have any comments, suggestions, or ideas, please leave them below. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm wishing you and yours the very best in 2025. Thanks for watching. Peace.